I think the number one is a good worship leader needs to really have a really strong and developed, rooted devotional life.
Right.
You know, a life in the Word, a life in prayer. What goes in is what comes out. I think we've probably all experienced that worship leader who gets up and who when they open their mouth to speak, it's so predictable and so almost like out of a tin can. It's like processed cheese. And you think, wow, I don't think there's a whole lot of depth to your relationship because what comes out of your mouth is just really shallow, and it's like you're parroting it off some integrity album. And we all know those leaders that open their mouths and they apparently don't seem to know what to say because they don't have a language, because they're not used to talking to God. And so I think an attribute of a good worship leader is someone who's well connected to the Lord and is used to talking to him. And so out of the overflow of their heart, the mouth speaks.
Right.
And that's genuine, and it's really clear that that's genuine and authentic. I think a good attribute for leaders is that they love the people they lead. And I tell leaders that all the time. If you don't love the people you lead, why are you leading them?
Right.
Lead them well if you don't truly love them.
Yes.
I think they need to have good leadership skills. And if they don't, they need to really be teachable about those things and learn how to better lead. I think they need to have a servant heart. That's really huge. Because we learned from the Old Testament, those two words are synonymous: worship, service, service.
Right.
And we need to have a sense that we're serving God, that we're serving the church, that we're serving the leaders of the church. This is not about my ministry. And we can be, you know, everybody can be a big diva up there on the stage. It makes it all about them. So that has to, and it's a sacrificial ministry. I mean, you know, as a worship leader on a week that I lead, I put in minimally 11 hours. You know, from preparation to the end of the second service, it takes 11 hours, including rehearsal. That's service. And I have to have a servant heart in order to push through it in those times when I'm tired and it's the last thing I want to do.
Right.
I think there's a need for humility, teachability, sensitivity to the Holy Spirit, willingness to take risk. And then I think I would add, I mean, there's so many things, but I think the last thing I would add is that I think they need to be skilled, and they need to have some skill musically, because if they're going to lead, number one, maybe on an instrument, but even if they lead without an instrument, they have to be versed in musical language in order to communicate to the rest of the musicians what they want. There's nothing more frustrating for a musician than a leader who doesn't get it and doesn't have a clue. And so to be able to be skilled in what you do and to be able to communicate that to the rest of the team, I think is pretty important.